Honored Chief Guest, Vice Chancellors, distinguished guests and faculty members, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Today marks a truly special day and rather a milestone as we gather here today for the official inauguration ceremony of the MSc in Energy for Circular Economy program under the inspiring theme Energizing Green Economy for Sustainable Society. To invoke blessings upon this evening's proceedings, we'd like to move on to lighting the traditional oil lamp. And I'd like to respectfully invite the following individuals, our dignitaries, to join us in lighting the traditional oil lamp. I'd like to invite our chief guest for today, Chairman of the BOI, Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, to please join us in lighting the traditional oil lamp. I'd also like to extend a respectful invite to Senior Professor P.M.C. Tilakaratna, MECE Program Director and the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka. I'd like to invite Professor Terence Madhurajit, Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya, Professor Rahula Attalage, Guest Speaker, Pro Vice Chancellor at the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, Professor Ranjit Pallegama, Deputy Vice Chancellor at the Peradeniya University, Mr. Janaka Vipularatna, Acting Registrar at the Open University of Sri Lanka, Mr. W.M.K.G.A. Vikramasinghe, Bursar of the Open University, Dr. L.S.K. Udugama, Dean, Faculty of Engineering Technology, the Open University of Sri Lanka, Professor J.M.A. Manatunga, Dean, Faculty of Engineering at the University of Moratuwa, Professor B.L.T. Samaranayaka, Dean, Faculty of Engineering at University of Peradeniya, Professor Chaminda Karunasena, Dean, Faculty of Engineering at the University of Ruhuna, Engineer Ruchira Abevira, MECE Program Manager, Engineer H.D.N.S. Priyankara, Head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering and MECE Program Coordinator at the Open University of Sri Lanka, Dr. Sumit Baduge, MECE Program Coordinator, the University of Ruhuna, Engineer Ms. Lekha Bakbidenia, MECE Program Coordinator for the University of Peradeniya, Dr. Ms. Dilhara Setunga, MECE Program Coordinator for the University of Moratuwa, Professor M.Y. Gunasekara, Head of the Department of Chemical Engineering at the University of Moratuwa, Professor Primal Fernando, Head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering at University of Peradeniya, Dr. Buddhika Anna Sivatha, Head of Department of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering at University of Ruhuna. And I'd also like to invite Engineer Naduni Abe Sumana, MECE Student Representative for the 2026 intake, and also Engineer Trishula Majuan Gamage to represent the MECE student representatives for the 2026 intake as well. We'd like to welcome all of you to join us in lighting the traditional oil lamp. thank you to our dignitaries who joined us in lighting the traditional oil lamp. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of Sri Lanka.
Three, four.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride and excitement that once again we welcome all of you to the inauguration ceremony of the MSc in Energy for Circular Economy, also known as the MECE Program 2026. Now today marks another significant milestone in Sri Lanka's journey towards sustainable development, innovation and global academic excellence. The MSc in Energy for Circular Economy is a pioneering international master's degree program that brings together two of the most critical disciplines shaping our future, that is advanced energy systems and circular economy principles. Now this unique program is the very first of its kind in Sri Lanka, creating a new generation of professionals equipped to tackle the world's most pressing sustainability challenges. Now, since its inception, the program has attracted an impressive number of learners, with 121 students enrolled in the first intake and 157 students joining the second intake, demonstrating the growing demand for the expertise in renewable energy, energy management, and sustainable development. Approved by the University Grants Commission of Sri Lanka and accredited at the SLQF level 10, the program offers participants an internationally recognized qualification while enjoying the flexibility of a fully online learning environment. Now, the program's innovative approach combines challenge-based learning, remote online laboratories, world-class digital resources, and guidance from an international panel of experts, ensuring that graduates are equipped to become the leaders of the global green transition. Today, as we welcome our newest batch of students into this vibrant academic community, we celebrate not only the beginning of a new educational journey, but also a collective commitment. To officially set the context for this groundbreaking initiative, it is my absolute honor to invite a visionary leader behind this consortium, the Program Director and the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratne, to deliver the welcome address. Please welcome him on stage with a good round of applause.
I have a stage. Thank you for the introduction. By default, I became the program director of this program. Because this is the program, of course, program we offer today, of course, as a consortium. So good evening, every one of you. And my fellow Vice Chancellor, Professor Teras Matujit, and the current chairman of the Committee of Vice Chancellor and Directors, as well as Vice Chancellor Minister Peradeniya, Professor Ranjit Pallegama, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dr. L.S. Udugama, our Dean Faculty of Engineering Technology, and Professor Jagat Manatunga, Dean Faculty of Engineering, University of Moratuwa, and our other all deans of the Open University of Sri Lanka, acting registrar Janaka Gularatna, and Dr. Vikramasinghe, the Bursa, and all heads of the departments, professors, and of course program coordinators, program manager, and our chief guest today, and Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, chairman of the Board of Investment of Sri Lanka, and on the top of that, all the learning partners registered for the fourth intake of the Master of Science in Energy for Circular Economy, and distinguished invitees. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to this momentous occasion, which is the inauguration ceremony of the fourth intake of the Master of Science in Energy for Circular Economy. As you everyone aware, Master of Science in Energy for Circular Economy is a major outcome of Europe-Sri Lanka Capacity Building in Energy Economy, known as USL Energy Project, funded by the European Commission. Of course, in the first inauguration ceremony, I do remember the University of Ruhuna Vice Chancellor stated that, which is funded by the European Commission, why that they have the taxpayers of the European Commission or the European Union, of course, supported in the beginning of this program. This is the first fully online MSc program in Sri Lanka, jointly conducted by 4 universities. I need to again elaborate on that. The main coordinator of the Open University of Sri Lanka and the University of Moratuwa, University of Peradeniya and University of Ruhuna. All 4 got together to introduce this Master of Science in Energy for Circular Economy, Level 10 Master's Degree Program. This collaborative effort is the first of its kind in Sri Lanka, as I said, and serves as a model of synergy. We use the word of synergy. Synergy is, in management, it says 1 + 1 is equal to 3. Now 1 + 3 here, 4 engineering faculties, you are very much aware, and offering a single master's degree program in collaboration with that 4 engineering faculties is very difficult. Because though that Sri Lanka qualification framework that all clearly stipulated what are the, of course, the learning outcomes, what are the, what is the structure of the program and credit limits and everything. But we as individual universities, we have our own regulations and again bylaws. So therefore, in the beginning, I need to mention University Grant Commission approved and the respective university, of course, senates as well as university councils approved consortium agreement. We are working with this consortium agreement. So therefore, first 2 semesters, you as learning partners of the 4th intake, you study with the Open University of Sri Lanka. Thereafter, according to the whatever your choice, as well as the specialization area, again that you have liberty to select one of the 4 engineering faculties to do your research project. So therefore, in the beginning, so I must appreciate, while welcoming you all very warmly, the efforts put forth by the 4 engineering faculty academics. And we had several discussions, not once, and of course I couldn't mention in the beginning in this program, I do not know whether that he is attending online, Emeritus Professor Torsten Franzen, the Chair Professor formerly Heat and Energy Power Technology, Royal Institute of Technology, because he is the person who supported to introduce this program and also up to date to become a reality to achieve our all milestones. Now, because not only 4 universities, 3 European partners also partnered with this program. Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden, Centre Superlac France, and University 20 in Netherlands, and some other digital resources introduced by the Learnify. So therefore, it's not a simple program as in the conventional university offers. It is in different that magnitude, the different that structure, this differently structured method that we are using. So let me highlight very briefly, of course my compeer already stated, the registration numbers to highlight the program's remarkable growth. So in 2023, first batch, we have enrolled 123 students. I'm happy to report, and the track, of course, selected by the students completed, 25 students completed and graduated 1st of January in this year. And other three partner universities also now ready to, of course, hold their convocations very shortly. So therefore, we have delivered what we have said. So it means that the quality, relevance and the competitiveness of the program is maintained throughout the academic delivery. Then in the 2024, we have our number grew up to 155. And then third intake 2025, 197 students. Now you can see the demand of the program, not only our local students and some foreigners also registered with this program by considering the nature of this delivery. And this year, fourth intake, we were managed to register 168 students. Since that you know, soon after the COVID pandemic 2023, it was very difficult to register for the master's degree program, 100 plus students, followed by economic crisis, fuel crisis, Aragalaya, and many more, challenges posed by the, of course, that due to the, different economic conditions. So therefore, but that we were successful throughout this journey. Therefore, these enrollment figures clearly demonstrate the strong and growing demand of the Master of Science for Energy for Circular Economy. Today, it has become one of the most sought after SLQF level 10 Master's degree program here in Sri Lanka and abroad, particularly in the field of energy, circular economy and sustainability. This growing interest reflects the program's academic excellence, international collaboration and its relevance in preparing professionals to address future energy and environmental challenges. Dear students, today marks the beginning of a journey, one that will not only challenge and inspire you, but also equip you with the tools and mindset needed to tackle some of the most pressing issues of our time, that is sustainable energy, resource efficiency, and environmental stewardship. We are living in an era where the global energy landscape is undergoing a profound transformation. Climate change, decreasing natural resources, and environmental degradation, which requires innovative solutions. At the same time, the concept of the circular economy offers a powerful alternative to the traditional linear model to take, make and dispose. Therefore, I believe always this master's program stands at the crossroads of the two urgent challenges we are facing today, that is energy transition and circularity. Our mission is to empower you as scientists, engineers, economists, and future leaders to become agents of change in this critical transformation. We need, of course, qualified engineers, professionals to handle these pressing problems, not only here in Sri Lanka, in the world. During the program, you will explore topics ranging from renewable energy technologies, energy systems optimization, and life cycle analysis to circular business models and sustainable policy. And not only that, of course, in the outset, it said that experience in learning model, challenge-based learning adopted throughout the program. And just to report one of the outcomes I already stated, we had 1st of January this year, first convocation for the Master of Science in Energy for Circular Economy. And one of the objectives proposed in the beginning achieved as an outcome. Group of graduates of the same program came to me and suggested 2026 January 1st, we will have what is called a carbon neutral convocation, because these graduated students, they have formed a company called Energy Academy. They do, that lot of consultancies and carbon footprint calculations and many more, that activities. So therefore, it's an outcome. Therefore, outcome-based education, so we are propagating. So therefore, I'm very happy because I hope other 3 partner universities also quickly organize their, graduation ceremonies. Of course, as I said, therefore, you will learn, from the world-class faculty, not only from our 4 universities, from, that University of 20, centers of like France, time to time, this, foreign resource persons will, that contribute to the program. And you will, again, engage in interdisciplinary collaboration and tackle real-world problems through hands-on projects and research. World Economic Forum report, so millions of jobs displaced. At the same time, millions of jobs will be created, because there is today that we had that again in the morning a conference stated from that Professor Ragil from the University of Peradeniya, AI can do only the 10%, so 90% from the human brain. So therefore, it is also what ethics, whatever that you are going to learn, it should comply the ethics. And economic development, country like Sri Lanka needs professionals like you to handle these pressing problems in the future. So therefore, I hope you will, as learning partners of this program, develop a deep sense of responsibility, a commitment to using your expertise not just for innovation, but for impact. As I said, impact to the wider society. Because you will be given the opportunity to engage in challenge-based projects, as I said, while practicing the experiential learning. And I see here in the audience, I couldn't, that mention and welcome one of our, that guest speakers, Professor Rahul Athalagi, Pro Vice Chancellor, Academic, representing, of course, that even commission member of the University Grant Commission and Pro Vice Chancellor, Academic, Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology. So welcome you, sir. And so therefore, I'm not going to discuss many things because there are many speakers today. Our Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, and again the Chief Guest speech, and Professor Athalagi, and Professor Manatunga. Everyone is here. So therefore, learning partners, as you begin the exciting chapter today, I encourage you to stay curious, to ask hard questions, because always postgraduate classes, I believe I'm not an engineer. I'm, how can I put, I'm again qualified in finance and management consultant, though I'm a Vice Chancellor. I always, like our learning partners not to become, passive learners, though it is online. You have to have, interactive, and that again, I said no challenge-based learning. You need to pose a challenge to our, that own resource persons. Then only this, that program will, that enrich to achieve our objectives that what we have stated in the beginning. So therefore, you will be given opportunity to engage wide variety of things. Not only that, this will have an opportunity as a passport to secure beyond your masters. Once you complete level 10 master's degree program, with the, that world demand, you can explore many more opportunities in the world. Just to tell you, when I browsed yesterday night, just to give you a glimpse of that, I found energy consultants hired by Asian Development Bank. And there are two programs. One is the young professionals. It is if you complete your master's degree program below 35 years with a first degree in engineering, and they will give you an assignment for 3 years per month, $5,000 tax free, net of taxes. If you are married, another 2,500. Then after that, if you successfully complete the young professionals internship at the Asian Development Bank, then that you will be recruited as a consultant, $7,500 net of taxes. So opportunities are enormous. Not only that, of course, KTH, Royal Institute of Technology, is welcoming PhD candidates. You will have an opportunity, competitive edge, other than that other graduates, to secure very good placement in elsewhere in the world. So therefore, I hope you will get that all the expertise while going through this program. So therefore, you will learn different cultures, because foreign students are registered for this program. You can share again lot of experiences with them, and you can stay true to your values, as I said, ethics, that finally you brought here a belief in better world, and also to ensure more sustainable future for all of us. Therefore, we are honored to be part of your journey and look forward to witnessing all that you will achieve. Because why I am saying so, you will not be passive learners, as I said. All 4 universities are ready to award the degree, postgraduate degree, Master of Science in Energy for Circular Economy. But you need to achieve it. Achieving a degree needs hard work. I know that all of you are working, then that you need to manage what is called work-life balance. I am not going to elaborate. If you are married, you have that some other problems as well. Then that managing household, right, and children's education, and you, and the examinations, assignments, continuous assessment tests, many more things. You will learn that all terminology while that you are going through the program. So therefore, I hope you will that of course write out very easily with our that resource persons, our own that well qualified academics, engineers, to achieve the degree exactly within that 2 academic years. So then that we ensure the quality of our delivery. So therefore, I wish you all the very best and a pleasant evening, and also productive future for that everything after this program and beyond this program as well. As I said, we always now, today, that is also I need to mention, because myself and my fellow Vice Chancellor, because always in the world, now qualifications are not that what is called diverging, it is converging. Convergence means in the future, so another concept, of course, that introduced when this program introduced in the first intake, and that our European partners, lifelong learning. Now the new concept came and introduced in the world what is called micro-credentials. In the future, whatever that qualifications that you are going to earn will go into the, what is called central repository. Like in India established a new bank. That bank is called Academic Bank of Credit, where micro-credentials, all degrees are again so feed into that central repository. For the interviews in the future, you are not going with that files or your thesis and everything. It is in the with the that of course the laptop screen in the interview panel. Then they will ask from you what is your digital ID. Once the digital ID will be fed, then your all academic credentials will appear in the screen. So therefore, in the future, definitely Sri Lanka also migrated to that, I strongly hope, to that level. So another academic bank of credit will be established in Sri Lanka. So a lot of things to tell you, but I remain as I wished you. Once again, while welcoming you all to this inauguration ceremony, I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you, Professor Tilakaratne. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, driving a sustainable economy requires a profound intersection between academic excellence and strategic industrial investment. Now, today we are privileged to have with us a leader driving exactly that. May I now respectfully invite our chief guest for the evening, Dr. Sulakshana Joywardena, Chairman of the Board of Investment, Sri Lanka, to address the gathering. Let's welcome him on stage with a good round of applause.
Good evening. So, Senior Professor P.M.C. Tilakaratne, Vice Chancellor, Open University of Sri Lanka, Professor Terence Madhujit, Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya, and all the representatives from other two universities, University of Moratuwa and University of Ruhuna, and academic staff of the Open University, and dear students, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. First, I received the invitation from Senior Professor Tilakaratne. I was wondering why Professor has invited me to participate for this important event. Then I thought, previously I was participating for the second intake of the inauguration program, which was held in 2024, if I remember it correctly, at the Foundation Institute. And at that time, I was the Secretary of the Ministry of Energy. Then I thought the relevance is there with the energy. But when it comes to the BOI, then I realized that, okay, if you are working with the sectors like renewable energy, energy efficiency, we need investments. I had my justification when I accept this invitation. So it is a privilege for me and also a pleasure for me to be here and address you in this important and momentous event. Dear students, you all know that we are in unprecedented in terms of transformation. We are in unprecedented era. Because if you can remember that when Senior Professor Tilakaratne was delivering his speech, he elaborated, because previously, still now, certain extent, we are working or we are doing in all the countries in linear economies. Because we take, make, and dispose. But that is not a kind of sustainable way. Because we need to accept the fact that these linear economies help us to have a growth. But simultaneously, that creates a lot of wastes, challenges on resources, resource depletion, and various other challenges. Now we are thinking about circular economy. There are a couple of things when it comes to the circular economy. You need to reduce your consumption. That is called, in technical jargon, improvement of the efficiency of utilization of your resources. You need to reuse it, right? Resources. You need to remanufacturing. And a part of these R's, there's another term that is innovation. So, if you, I don't know whether you have awareness on recently government or the Cabinet of Ministers passed the National Electricity Policy. Under that, there are 5 fundamental policy elements and also 6 concurrent policy elements. Those are on energy or the electricity. So out of these 11, I went through this document. Almost all 11 fundamental and concurrent policy elements are relevant to sustainable development and also circular economy. So as a country, we have targeted to achieve from electricity generation 70% from renewable energy sources. Right now, if you go through the figures, we do have 1,512 megawatts of large hydro, close to 4,400 megawatt of non-conventional renewable energy, including wind, solar, and solar rooftop, and also biomass and other sources. So we are in the pathway of sustainable development. But there are a lot of challenges. We need investments, we need technology, we need to introduce certain regulations. We need to improve our organization structure. Unbundling is one part of it. Lot of challenges. So I hope that the students who have enrolled with this Masters of Energy for Circular Economy, you have selected very kind of program which is very applicable in future. As senior professor mentioned during his welcome speech, that lot of opportunities. Because challenges create opportunities. We are having a lot of challenges, and in future, with successful completion of this program, you will be contributing the society and the country as a policymakers, entrepreneurs, perhaps members in the academia, because the circular economy no longer only in the academic discussions. Now it is practical thing. So you will be working in these areas in your capacities and will be serving the country and the entire world. And I would like to highlight 3 things when you are following this important master's program. First one is innovation and technology, because we do have challenges, as I mentioned. Most of the engineering experts are in here, so I need not to elaborate for them that what are the challenges that we are having in terms of electricity system. We do have an isolated system. There are challenges in terms of absorbing renewable energy. If you can remember, if you go back a couple of weeks back, lot of criticisms on curtailment of solar generation, but sometimes you have to maintain the systems with that kind of compromisations. Because one of the key thing is system reliability. So that is really applicable for the investors and the investments. Because if you see that last year we were able to achieve foreign direct investments of USD million, 1,000, little bit of 1,063. In this year also we are targeting 1,500 US million foreign direct investment. But if your systems are not reliable, nobody won't come and nobody want to make their decisions on making investment. I'm bit touch upon this investment because I am from the discipline of the investments. So what I was telling is, first thing is innovation and technology. So you need to explore emerging technologies that can accelerate the transition, because we are in the transition phase, transition to sustainable energy systems. The second one is policy and governance. I told you that there are certain commitments, so the government need to introduce policies. As a result of that, recently government has approved national electricity policy. A part of that, there are international commitments that we have pledged to the international community, like NDC targets, reduction of CO2 emissions. Because we have pledged to the international community to achieve on voluntary basis 5% of reduction when you compare it with the business as usual scenario. And also, conditionally 20%. So when Senior Professor Tilakaratne mentioned that carbon neutral connotation, so it is a kind of new and innovative kind of approach to have that kind of events. So there is a requirement of policies and also governance. Third one is leadership and collaboration. Collaboration is one of the requirements. So we can see the collaboration among the 4 universities and also EU university. So that creates synergy. Professor has mentioned that. That will create synergy. So you need to recognize the complex global challenges where we need partnerships and among governments, because this is not a isolated challenge or individual challenge that we are going to. This is not a one country challenge. This is a global challenge. So the future belongs to those who can transform challenges into opportunities. I mentioned that. So I have no doubt that the graduates of this program, because first batch, they have completed it successfully. And this program will play a significant role in shaping the future. In closing, I would like to congratulate Senior Professor MC Tilakaratne and all the members of the academia from various of the 4 universities, engineering faculties, and also the academic staff for making this master's program an attractive one. So you can see the figures, number of students enrolled, number of students who have completed it in a successful manner. So I wish that this academic journey be intellectually enriching, professionally rewarding, and impactful for society. So I wish you every success in your studies and future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jayawardene, for your insightful words and for being here with us today. We truly appreciate your presence. Ladies and gentlemen, as an international master's degree program, you know that this is supported by the European Commission. Global expertise is at the very core of this degree. Joining us next is an esteemed academic pioneer from one of our partner European institutions. Let us welcome Emeritus Professor Torsten Fransson, Chair of Heat and Power Technology at the Royal Institute of Technology, Sweden, who will deliver the keynote address virtually.
Dear Excellencies, dear Vice Chancellors, dear students, it's my pleasure to start my talk here in this inauguration session about the MECA program. My name is Torsten Fransson, and I was the initiator of the European Union project EUSL Energy, which was started in 2020. We then, at that time, we started a project between the University of Muratuva, University of Peradeniya, University of Ruhuna, and the Open University of Sri Lanka, and 3 universities in Europe. co-founded by the European Union, with the OUSL as the project lead. Out of that, we created a unique program, which is the MECA program. This was the first time ever in Sri Lanka where you had a master program in several universities combined. 4 universities collaborate in a coherent way. There is a common first year given by teachers from all universities. Second year is a specialization at one of the 4 universities. The students receive a double degree from 2 universities, and it is built up with teachers from the EU also. There's a completely new pedagogical concept here. The flipped classroom with highly online content, learning modules developed in collaboration and to be globally peer reviewed. And which is very new, there's also possibility in our concept for a student review. Laboratory exercises can be run remotely. It's intended for learning in a global concept, and it is challenge driven. The main item here is that it's a focus on learning. It's not focused on teaching. The program is designed as being self-paced, that students can read it from anywhere at any time and just in time when they really need the knowledge and the information. There is a significant emphasis on the intended learning outcomes as well as on the achieved learning outcomes. Then, of course, there is, as everything is online and digital, there is always a question about how you can be creative in not physical meetings, and that is up to you students together with your instructors to work hard upon. Now, in the flipped classroom perspective, the learner is himself or herself responsible for the learning. You have to prepare yourself before class, and there is no formal classes in the ex-cathedra connection. Instead, the discussions should take place between learners and the guide at a higher intellectual level after that the learners have actually learned the material that is presented to them beforehand. This is a very efficient learning way if the learners take the responsibility to prepare themselves by answering questions asked in the learning modules and make sure that you do have enough information, you have enough knowledge in order to be able to participate in the discussions. Now, in that context, related to the latest developments in 3-4 years, last 3-4 years, related to artificial intelligence, you should be aware of the fact that yes, all the questions that are posed can be answered by the artificial intelligence. It can be answered very, very easily, but the goal is that you should learn. And if you just try to skip the questions and get the AI to answer the questions, then the learning process will fail, and you will then be more like the sleeping student that you see up here in the picture to the left, in the back row. Now, that is not the way that we want to have students working. Now, in the MECA program, there is one very, very important aspect, and that's related to the challenges. The challenges that we're creating is one big challenge where there is a number of students. In principle, all students participate in the same challenge with different perspectives, of course. The challenge is built upon real life problem of global interest. It gives the possibility to collaborate with learners in other programs in other countries also, depending upon your instructor and your challenge yourself, the project that you're working in. The basic learning material is presented such that you can dive into the challenge and you can be spending yourself, and that you should spend the time with the teacher should not be spent on basic informations. Now, also remember that for the challenges, the teachers do not have the solution. They are part of the team, and they will act as guides and supporters, but they will not be able to answer the challenge, because if they could answer the challenge, then it would not be a challenge. We're here looking at challenges that are globally of interest all over the world. You have got a number of remote laboratory exercises that are available from different sites globally. You will have to look upon which are the labs that your instructors will want you to run, but you should be aware of the fact that the modules for the remote labs are built up in exactly the same way as the lectures as part of your curriculum. You will have access to learning material from several sources globally. Please note that the MEC is part of the Global Explore Energy Digital Academy concept. In this here, we have got students, universities and students from 58 different countries, from 58 different universities in 27 different countries. We started with the project EUSL Energy, which was run from Sri Lanka as the lead country in 2020. In 2021, we had a project from that was accepted by the EU in Brazil, in 2023 in Bolivia, also in 2023 for Mauritius, 2024 Zimbabwe, 2025 Moldova, and 2026 a project that was had the lead university from Spain. Altogether, as I said, 58 universities in 27 different countries. You will have access to a large set of modules, learning modules. At the present time, there is about 1,200 learning modules that are available. Some of them are very, very good. Some of them are less good. Some of them just explain the teacher, but there is a lot of material that is available to you. You have to talk to your instructor, and then you might have the possibility to get access to material that might be of special interest to you. There is also, recently, we have created the possibility to have complete courses inside the concept. This is done either by the Open edX system or by what we call the Explore Energy Digital Academy learning management system, which is our own system. There are about 20 to 25 such courses, ranging from training for educators to professional ethics and responsibility, which is one of the courses in your program, as well as the fundamental engineering thermodynamics, for example, which is also another course in your program. The MECI has been a highly successful program so far. 2023, 123 students enrolled, 155, 197, and this year it's 164 students enrolled. We are very, very grateful for your interest in joining us. We understand the challenges that you yourself have in finding being able to pay the tuition fee, to sacrifice 2 years of your time, of your life, to join us in this endeavor. You should be aware of the fact that you're part of a growing worldwide community. You should grab the opportunity and be in contact other students, other teachers at different other universities, etc. But in order to do that, you have to, of course, to study hard. Now, as I said previously, the MECI program has been developed under the EUSL Energy project. You should make the most of your studies, use the unique opportunities the MECI program offers you, take the responsibility to prepare yourself in the flipped classroom. With this here, I wish you good luck with your studies and hope that you will be very, very successful. Do not hesitate to come back to me and to the other teachers whenever you might have anything that you would like to work within the future. And most specifically, I sincerely hope that you will have great fun in joining us for this program. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Professor Torsten Franson. Ladies and gentlemen, we pause for a small active entertainment by the band of the Sri Lanka Army. Please sit back and enjoy.
Leo, Leo, Panuduranta, Leo, 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 Panvilla hitapu sokario. Leo, Leo, Pankolamiti banditiriyo. Leo, Leo, enna Panvillata Leo. Sokari enni sabayin අවසර ගන්නේ නැටුම් නටන්නේ තාලෙට රාග කියන්නේ අද අල්ලන්නේ පියයුරු ලැම සොල්ලන්නේ කැඩපත ගන්නේ සුරතින් මූණ බලන්නේ තානා තම් දෙන තම් ලෙන තානා සෙතනා තම් දෙන තම් දෙන තානා
Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward with our evening, I now have the pleasure of inviting our next guest speaker. Please welcome on stage Professor Rahula Attalage, Pro Vice Chancellor of the Faculty of Graduate Studies at the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, to share his thoughts with us. Let's welcome him on stage with a good round of applause.
Is this correct or not? Yeah. A very good evening to all of you. Professor PMC Tilakratna, Vice Chancellor, Open University of Sri Lanka, Chief Guest for the event, Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, Chairman CVCD, Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya, Deans of the faculties, my colleagues from the partner universities, distinguished invitees, most importantly, the students of the fourth intake of the MSc in Energy in Circular Economy. I am profoundly pleased to stand in front of you and based on an invitation extended to me and to make this brief intervention. Well, I thought that, okay, I was told 10 minutes looking at the topic and decided to talk to you on two important aspects, as Professor Tilakaratna says, synergizing, decarbonizing the buildings, an area that is very close to me, and the circular economy principles, the key theme of this master's program. I am also, well, happy to hear, delighted to hear the progress of the program, 127, 157, 197. So apparently it's like geometric progression of the growth. So we should extend a very heartiest congratulations for the performance, and so hope you will be able to keep it up. Right. So the title that I have used is Decarbonizing Buildings Through Circular Economy Principles. So it will be a very short presentation. Just I thought that, okay, putting the things into perspective, why buildings are central to climate action, right? Of course, most of the things are known, but I have just tried to synthesize to suit the occasion, opportune and appropriate, I would consider emission profile of the built environment or more clear is when you say environment built by human or built by nature, right? Well, several aspects, operational versus embodied carbon. So the two elements that would go hand in hand. Building produce emissions during its use and then also by the material that the buildings employ, including a main area, operational and embodied carbon by the project. And it is known that it is well established about 35% of the carbon emissions are related to building in global. So that's a big chunk. So any intervention that you make into the building sector in view of decarbonizing, whatever the strategy, in this particular case, the circular economy, that will bring benefits. Decarbonizing focus. So usually decarbonizing focus is for the operational phase. But it has been seen a shift more towards the embodied carbon is now in significant share because we know very well how to analyze the embodied carbon footprint, also the embodied energy, and that becomes an important element in the life cycle emissions in addition to the usual operational energy that operational carbon footprint that we have been talking of. Long-term carbon impact, of course we know that the buildings last decades in this country from generation to generation, right? So even the buildings are not suitable to live in, but still we continue. So therefore, locking emissions at the design stage, construction stage, and based on the material use is very important because they last quite long. So a decision that you make at the outset is going to be very important. And the last point is why emission profile of the built environment is important, that urbanization and material demand increases. The carbon intensive material like concrete, steel, and glass. So there's the point where the circular economy can play an important role. Decarbonization levers across the building life cycle. Operational and embodied carbon reduction strategies. So we know that there are two. The focus has been more now towards the embodied emissions, embodied energy use, etc. Operational carbon reduction. Focus on reducing energy use through efficient building structure envelopes, high performance envelopes, electrification, changing from thermal to electrification. You will see that now it's recommended even to use electric cookers as far as the electricity comes from renewable and clean forms, rather than going for direct combustion. Smart technologies, meaning that use of sensors, strategies, data science, etc., to make decisions, and on-site renewables, building integrated renewable energy or on-site renewable energy, like integrated wind, etc. Building integrated solar photovoltaic is quite common, and even the utilities cannot accommodate the demand and the requirement of the country, and so they have to figure out the ways that can be accommodated. Because we know that the trend in the international and the global arena is towards that. And buildings play an important role because it doesn't call for any additional land use, so that's an advantage. Embodied carbon reduction minimizes emission from materials using low carbon alternatives, improving the structural efficiency and the supply chain management, the transportation, where the material is located, the origin of the material, etc. Integrated carbon strategies, combining operational and embodied, can bring a more optimized combination rather than trying to have a trade-off individually looking at the operational and the embodied energy, embodied carbon as well. How the circular economy principles apply to buildings. You see, I think Professor Tilakaratne also talked about the linear model as a circular model. If you see the circular model, you will see the material extraction to the production and use, and 3 R's: reuse, repair, and recycle. And linear construction model is usually the open-ended, end up with waste. Of course, there can be certain amount of recycling, but circular economy concepts, which is the core theme or the title of this master's program, it keeps material in use a longer period through the design, disassembly, and also the modular nature of the building system. As we know that the buildings operate over a large number of decades, so if you have a modular system, when the buildings get outdated, you don't continue with the building, you can change the structure, design, architectural, etc., and also the materials. When you have the improved materials, you can make the building in modular, dismantle, disintegrate, and bring the new technologies, like as much as we do for the energy consuming equipment, right? And we don't wait until they are discarded. If we find that new equipment with efficient technologies, we replace them based on economic decisions. Extending building lifespan, adaptive reuse and retrofitting, with reduced embodied emissions by prolonging the building life and minimizing the demolition. You know that when you go for demolition, okay, we lose the value of the building, but we can extend by making changes to suit the building to the current condition, where bringing the operation and embodied energy carbon footprint to perspective. Reuse and recycle material, reusing structural steel and components can save about 90% of embodied carbon versus new material. So that's an important element because this is the synergy that we are looking at and the circular economy helps in that context. Integrating circular and decarbonization, synergies, digital enablers, and performance optimization. I think this is where the master's level intervention can come in. Integrated decarbonizing and circularity, combining decarbonizing and circular economy, enhance the emission savings across the building life cycle, right? And modular and flexible design, as I indicated, they support operational efficiency and the adaptability, reducing premature building obsolescence, so that we know that when the design changes, architecturally we want to have a different design, making a new outlook, etc. That can be very easily handled when you have this modularity and the flexible design. Digital integrated tools. This is an area of new intervention where the research is taking place. Digital tools like BIM, digital twins. You have the digital twins and then you do your simulation and then bring the know-how. And AI enabler coordination, monitoring and optimization of building performance. Building performance, before going on to the drawing board, we can make all the buildings with digital twin, do the simulation and figure out what is the annual energy consumption, what are the interventions that can bring in so that the operational energy and also same time embodied carbon can bring into the perspective over a life cycle. Material transparency and traceability. It's another area that the new technologies can come in, like using data science, material databases, and blockchain. It's a new intervention. They have the transparency of material use and the data can be brought onto the platform. Barriers and case studies and future outlook. Implementation challenges and the path forward. They are technical and economical, regulatory, and I will touch on the aspect of the case studies. Technical and economic barriers. Challenges include material performance uncertainty, needs a lot of testing, performance of building material, etc., and lack of standards. We have standards, but they do not get updated based on the technology development. For example, we also have the energy efficiency building code, which came into practice in 2020. By the time it is in implementation, the technologies have changed, so we need very fast revisions. For example, ASHRAE building standards are revised every 3 years. And each year, each revision, you talk about 5% of improvement in energy savings as well as the emission savings. So that's important. So having a static standard is not going to be important. It's important to see how it can be. So we are at the point of starting the implementation of the code, so we need to see how it can be. Existing building codes and procurement rules. It also brings into procurement rules, like we are also now talking of green taxonomy implemented by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, where the entrepreneurs, consultants, designers can make use of to bring energy efficiency and then resulting carbon footprint reductions. Successful case studies, all can be on paper, but for us to be very confident, we need to see the actual use cases with values, with the archive data, and with transparency. So therefore, demonstrated carbon savings with confidence is important. Future trends and innovation, policy mandates and innovations. So research will have to continue to figure out the new areas of intervention. And just to conclude, I think most of you have seen this building. Clear Point residencies in Rajagiriya. So the mandate that I want to bring in front of the new the intake, the fourth intake, is that, okay, this is supposed to be considered as a low carbon based, embodied carbon based building, multi-story building with renewable energy taking care of entire common area and electricity use. And at some times import to the grid as well. The envelope is low carbon embodied energy used with the green facades, and ventilation in common areas, natural ventilation and passive conditions. And so there are a lot of technical interventions that have been made. So this can be a good case study for you to figure out what are the interventions and what is the state of the art in this country itself. It is not something that is new, and it is, we can very well and very easily get connected to the global scenario. So therefore, make use of this opportunity with the program, the circular economy, Master of Energy in Circular Economy, get into the areas of this, like starting with a case study. So mandate would be to go deep into this and then figure out what our engineers, consultants, and architects have done. So with that, I will conclude my brief intervention at this stage, and I will also request your permission to leave because I have another engagement. Came late, that's not good, and leaving early is even worse. So thank you very much, and all the very best to the new intake, and then keep the geometric progression, grow as the Vice Chancellor indicated. Thank you once again. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Professor, for those valuable insights. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that the unique brilliance of this MECE program lies in its collective power. For the first time in Sri Lanka, 4 premier national universities have united to deliver a single, seamless master's experience. To share how this powerful synergy drives excellence, I am honored to now invite our consortium leaders to address us. Firstly, I would like to invite on stage Professor Terence Madhurajit, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The chief guest tonight, Dr. Chawadana, the Chairman BOI, the Vice Chancellor of Open University of Sri Lanka, and also the founder director of this MEC program, Professor Lal Tilkaratna, Deputy Vice Chancellor University of Peradeniya, Professor Ranjit Pallegama, Professor Manatunga, Dr. Udugama, Professor Attalagi is leaving, of course. All other academic friends from 4 universities, most importantly, the registrants of the 4th intake MEC, invitees, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank Professor Tilakaratna for inviting me to grace this occasion. In fact, I was supposed to be at another occasion today, early afternoon, and decided not to miss this out. Professor Tilakaratna has been always, I think he made more than 4 or 5 calls over the last couple of days, just to remind. Well, first of all, congratulations, all dear registrants, and I'm happy to see the progress. Usually in Sri Lanka, being conventional universities, we are good at working in isolation, and we are highly compartmentalized. This is one of the best examples, ladies and gentlemen, where the synergism works. Professor Tilakaratna, synergism is not only in management, it is in science as well. So even microorganisms, we see consortium of microorganisms, they work in synergism, they produce more when they are working together. I think that is how we should develop. This is a very good example that you have said. And being the pioneering higher education seat of learning, University of Peradeniya, we are celebrating 84th anniversary in a couple of weeks' time. I'm sure that my colleagues from other universities will not get offended. And our engineering faculty is the first engineering college in Sri Lanka which was established Maradana Technical College, which was later brought to the University of Peradeniya in early 1960s. We are 76 years old, and our engineers, experts, help establishing other engineering faculties in the country. And so we have lots of resources. I'm happy to see the Ms. Leka Bakmidani, engineer, and the team. Our mechanical engineering department took the lead in handling this, and it's important to see the combination of these 4 universities, Ruhuna as a Moratuwa, as well as Open University, and Moratuwa as pioneering engineering education institutes. They are coming together to offer this program, and happy to see the volume of learning platforms, materials that you have access to. You have to get the best out of this program. And Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, now we are just 4 years away from our target, 2030. The globe should achieve Sustainable Development Goals, so SDGs by 2030. And are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Well, there are certain countries that they are ready. They are far ahead of us. So it is high time for us to look into these and develop human resources to tackle these problems. Now, it is predicted that with 65% of probability that we will have El Nino in this part of the region. In fact, it will encompass entire globe, who knows. And global warming, emission. Now, European Union, which is co-funding this program, is going to be carbon neutral by 2050, that is the target. And not only the entire continent is going to be the first continent that's going to be carbon neutral by 2050. So that's a significant achievement. And we also should go ahead As the previous speakers mentioned, we have three major hurdles in front of us. One is a water crisis, energy crisis, and minerals. Water is, of course, a renewable source. So if we use carefully, despite the fact that the available water for human consumption is less than 1%, but still it is renewed. But when it comes to energy crisis, it was earlier predicted that by 2050 our fossil fuels will be completely over. But thanks to other renewable energy resources, solar, geothermal, wind, etc., nuclear, we will be able to save our fuel for another few decades for sure. And in the developed world, this year you see hybrid vehicles, next year you see electrical vehicles, then hydrogen-driven vehicles. I know the world leader in auto manufacturing, they have now developed water through electrolysis. Inside the chamber, hydrogen is generated, hydrogen is used as fuel, so it's zero emission. And when are we going to achieve this? I'm sure you have been very tactful in inviting the right person today as a chief guest tonight, because BOI should employ lots of energy experts in this country. So it is really wise that you have been very mindful in inviting and choosing the right person tonight. And construction, Professor Atlage mentioned about decarbonizing buildings. That's extremely true. The conventional building materials, we use lots of materials. The third challenge that we have is minerals in this world. And unfortunately, we have overexploited much of mineral resources, including asbestos, ladies and gentlemen. I know Canada extracts a lot of asbestos. You have been using asbestos as roofing materials, but most of the countries have already banned the use of asbestos for roofing purposes. Very good insulation material, fire resistant, cheaper, even today, the cheapest roofing material. But unfortunately, there's a significant environmental damage, especially when they are aging. The asbestos fiber gets out of the sheet and it contaminates the environment. So we have to rethink of the material. We should use a low carbon construction material. And in Sri Lanka, we don't know what to do with construction debris. Exactly, that the recycling is very minimal, I would say, or no recycling at all. These are some of the biggest challenges we have in front of us. So without much ado, let me congratulate the entire intake. And one last thing, I have been engaged in online teaching over the last 5 years. First, we started as emergency remote teaching. And later on, because of the convenience, without coming or visiting places, we are also now used to deliver lectures online. But my experience is that our learners don't take much out of online learning. So it is a challenge, ladies and gentlemen, resource persons as well as the learners. Their engagement is very less. That is my personal experience. So we have to change that. Unless you are fully engaged. Sometimes they have turned on the devices, but they are not physically there. And they are very reluctant to respond. And I feel really bored. I'm really upset over this delivering online. I'm sure that will not happen. So that is a challenge for both parties. So without much ado, let me congratulate the entire galaxy of new entrants. Thank you very much for organizing. Happy to see the involvement of the 3 other institutions that have come and joined with us. Good night.
Thank you, Professor Terence. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my esteemed pleasure to now invite on stage Professor J.M.A. Manatunga, Dean, Faculty of Engineering at the University of Moratuwa.
the chief guest for this event, Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, Chairman BOI, Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratne, Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, and Program Director, Professor Terence Majujit, just left, I suppose. Anyway, Chair of the CVCD and Vice Chancellor of Peradeniya University, and my dear friend, Professor Ranjit Pallegama, Deputy Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya, and Dr. LSK Udugama, my fellow Dean at the Open University, Engineering Technology, and I just saw Professor Chaminda Karunasena from Ruvana. It's a great pleasure to be here representing the University of Maratua in the inauguration of the fourth intake in Energy for Circular Economy. I think the program is both timely and also very important nationally and as well as globally. Energy, ladies and gentlemen, is no longer a matter of engineering design, generation capacity, or tariff structures. Today, energy is very closely linked with economic security, industrial competitiveness, climate responsibility, and national resilience. We in Sri Lanka have experienced most of these in the recent past. We have experienced how energy insecurity can affect every layer of the society, including our daily lives, from households and transport to industry, education, public confidence, and every aspect of life. But the real question is not whether we remember that crisis. The real question is whether we convert that experience into new national direction. We need to set a new direction for energy security in Sri Lanka. For me, that is why this program is so important and timely. The title, Energy for Energy Circularity, economic circularity or circular economy, it carries a very powerful idea. It reminds us that energy cannot be treated in isolation and vice versa. Circular economy and energy are intertwined. This phrase, energy for circular economy, must be connected with definitely materials, waste, water, transport, buildings, manufacturing, agriculture, and now digital systems. The circular economy begins when we stop seeing waste as the end of a process, and we need to start seeing it as a beginning of another value chain. It's not an end, but it's a beginning. For that transformation, we need a new way of thinking, especially for professionals like engineers. We need to think beyond narrow boundaries. We need engineers who understand policy, not only technology. We need managers who understand technology. And also we need researchers who understand the industry. Doing research is not to earn a degree. Research should be converted to use, practical use, to serve the society. And we need graduates like you who can connect energy, environment, economy, and society into one integrated vision. This is where universities must play a major role in merging these together. The universities of the future, Professor Tilakaratne mentioned about convergence. I think during the last couple of faculties I was mentioning about this convergence. Convergence will be the future, no exception. I term that as survival beyond 2030, convergence. I think this particular program I think they have been focusing on convergence during the last so many years. I think that is what I note as the most significant impact on the academic society when I place this in the academia. And also the university of the future cannot only place that produces graduates. It must be a knowledge engine, creation of knowledge. And knowledge should be placed on an innovation platform and a trusted partner in national transformation. Universities should take the lead. The universities must work with governments, with industry, with international partners and communities. Sometimes the word internationalization or international partners might not have a meaning because everything now has been internationalized. And the universities should not looked at from a distance. We have to be part of this research innovation culture. No single university can address the energy transition alone. I think that is the very reason why this consortium has been created. The strength of this consortium is to work together. I think, again, the two vice chancellors stressed on the need for working together. Together, we can do more. When the Open University, Ruhuna, Veradenia, and also we have KTH, Sweden, Central Super League, and also University of Twente from Netherlands. When we come together as partners, we create something far greater than an academic program. We create a learning ecosystem. To students who are entering the master's program, I would say you are entering a field that will shape the future of nations, not only our nation, because you can contribute to sustainability which will cross boundaries. Your success will not only depend on how much you know, but on how well you apply knowledge that you gain by following this program. It's not the certificate that you earn, the experience translated into practical use. Whether you can design, integrate, evaluate, persuade, and lead the rest of the society as leaders. To the industry partners who are here, your partnership is essential. Circular economy cannot remain within lecture halls or within research platforms. Or it's not just research converted into research papers. It must enter factories. It must enter energy systems, supply chains, construction sites, boardrooms, and of course, it should be embedded into the national policy agenda. The strongest programs are those in which industry is not merely consulted, but industry actively engaged as a co-creator and co-creator of knowledge and innovation. Co-creation is very important. At the Faculty of Engineering, University of Moratuwa, ladies and gentlemen, we strongly believe that engineering education must now move from traditional disciplinary boundaries. That is what I think Professor Tilakaratne also mentioned about the convergence. The next generation of engineers must be technically excellent, but also systems-oriented and sustainability conscious, digitally enabled and globally connected. You can't work in isolation. Therefore, I see this MSc not as a general degree that we offer within the academic circles. I see this as a statement and effort of confidence between these partner universities, 4 in Sri Lanka and 3 partners outside Sri Lanka. Confidence that Sri Lankan universities can collaborate with each other and confidence that they can collaborate with equal international partners. And confidence that these universities and the consortium has that our professionals can lead the transformation. With that confidence, we offer this program to you, the participants. And we all have the confidence that Sri Lanka can contribute meaningfully to attain sustainable development goals. Let me congratulate the University of the Open University of Sri Lanka for taking the lead, and the other 3 universities in Sri Lanka, including Maratua, for offering this program, and the consortium partners, the European Union supported EUSL Energy, and also the European Union for funding this initiative. And I wish this MSc will not only produce graduates, but leaders, not only researchers, but solutions, not only qualifications, but qualification to transform the energy agenda of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Manatunga. Ladies and gentlemen, next it's my esteemed pleasure to invite on stage Professor Chaminda Karuna Sena, Dean, Faculty of Engineering at the University of Ruhuna.
Good evening, Chief Guests, Guest of Honor, and Vice Chancellors, Deputy Vice Chancellors, and my fellow Deans, senior academics, and all my friendly fellow academics who are involved in USL program, and especially while the industry partners, and especially the students, the candidates who have enrolled. And I just got to know the number exactly, it's 168 this time. And while listening to Vice Chancellor of Peradeniya University about online teaching, the risks and all that, but I strongly believe, being one of the leading engineering faculties, dean, and also one who involved in designing and initial planning of this course, and one who have been delivering a couple of modules in this course, I strongly believe, although we have enough challenges of online delivery, still the impact is considerable. I would say one example just happened a couple of days ago. The first batch who are in the research project, at the end of their research project, one of the students of Ruhuna, he's supposed to do a presentation to me, I'm the supervisor, about the progress about solar related research. And I was asking, he was in a really disturbing background, time was around 8 p.m. on a working day, Monday. He mentions, I am in the site of solar battery storage installation, 10 megawatt happening in Galle. So he's a site engineer, as I understand. And I remember the question he asked in certain classes about simulation and modeling and things we discuss. And now that he's applying to a certain level, at least in his thinking, there's a message which he has obtained from this course. I acknowledge, especially when it comes to first year, the course is common and numbers are high. But towards the latter part, second year and specialization, you will have ample opportunities to engage with the staff and other facilities. So I can assure, if you put enough effort, although the course is online, delivered by many universities, and most cases you may not physically meet each and every resource person, but still there will be chances, enough chances to master the knowledge and get exposure. And at the end of the day, very importantly, the output and the outcome, your contribution. So as the circular economy becoming very critical as detailed out by many speakers, as a country, I think you are very lucky to be the 4th batch and to get clarified on this circular economy matter, which is coming everywhere across the fields. Therefore, I strongly believe you will stand taller in technical communities, especially decision making. And as a member who was in interview panels when shortlisting and recruiting some of the candidates in the current batch, we are very convinced that you are representing middle management or entry-level management with some experience. Therefore, as a country, education changes. Education is the best investment. So I strongly believe this investment done by consortium universities supported by the European grant, it's a great investment for the country to make us more sustainable and greener. And very importantly, we are teaching, we are involving with a young crowd of professionals who may be from engineering, may be from science, technology, you name it. But we all get together and be partners of converting Sri Lanka, not only Sri Lanka, we have partners, students from many other countries, so converting somehow the globe also in this journey to become sustainable and circular economic focused. However, there's a concern, and I wish to bring the attention of the candidates, especially, you are enrolled to this course and learning in a domain which is totally different than the domain, the environment we had when we were undergrads or postgraduates. The AI has overrun, and also this is totally online course. All assignments, all exams, all lectures, all laboratory, everything online. And cameras are off, and we don't know whether you are listening or how. But as responsible students and adults and matured people, I strongly believe you have an ethical responsibility and to make sure you ethically and committed manner you engage in the course and get some knowledge, understanding while using AI tools or other things. Because worst case scenario, we should not have an engineer or a professional who has undergone this course asking from AI, hey, can you design me a battery storage? Probably you can get such help, of course you should, but at least the concepts, the foundation, fundamentals you absorb from the lectures should be there. We have detailed technical inputs, everything. It's obvious we need to have that tool, unless we'll be isolated. And also, the examination, assessments, everything online, and you have very high responsibility to make sure the good name of this hard developed course is kept. Because if you're going to undermine or do any unnecessary, certain practices, then there might be some kind of rumors about the course and the quality. So we as teachers, administrators, decision makers, we are trying our level best in the economic all other restrictions and administrative and state university restrictions. Still we try our best to continue this consortium, and those who know Professor Dilaratna, and you know how difficult it was at the very first to make this consortium, get it approved first time in the UGC. And all these quality assurance cells and all these agreements, you name it. But we are there now with the 4th batch. So you all would be ambassadors for upcoming batches. And as I know, as a teacher who engage with EUSL batches, 3 batches at least now, you are very busy. And many of you, why you not apply for a conventional master's course, which is usually offered in weekend, physical and all that. You prefer online delivery. It's flexible. You can do assignments. But you need to respect the course and get that best out of it. help us to help you. And therefore, I think with that couple of short remarks, I congratulate you all, and may this be a great beginning. Let it be a totally new chapter, a learning experience and networking opportunity. And I'm really glad to see many of the faces who were from the very beginning of the course development until now. I think we are setting an example to the state university and even private sector higher education system, how universities can collaborate, win certain grants, and make direct contribution to countries' development and higher education reforms. So with that concluding remark, thank you very much and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much, Professor Chaminda. Ladies and gentlemen, next I have the honor of inviting on stage Dr. LSK Udugama, Dean, Faculty of Engineering Technology, the Open University of Sri Lanka.
Good evening, everyone. Vice Chancellor, the Open University of Sri Lanka, Senior Professor PMC Theraratna, and other Vice Chancellors left already. Professor Rahul Atalagi also left. And we have here Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, and our deans of faculty of engineering in other universities, Professor Manatunga, and from the University of Runa, Professor Chandima Karnasena, and other deans of our university and head of the departments, acting registrar, Bursa, and fellow academics, especially the students who registered for this program. So this is the fourth intake, and I wish you and welcome you, the students, for this Master of Science in Energy for Circular Economy. And actually, I thought of giving some brief introduction about the program, but all those introduction has been given now, so I will focus something else, right? That the collaboration of engineering faculties to develop this program. You know that we have several engineering faculties, but these four engineering faculties are the first four engineering faculties in Sri Lanka, and collaboratively develop this program. Now, when we go back to around 10, 15 years back, all these universities worked isolated. Maybe some collaboration were there, but mostly their programs isolated, no collaboration at all. But some academics visited to those other programs and delivered, helped to deliver the program. Now, when we collaborating for this kind of program, I think at the initial stage, at my fellow Dean said, it is not an easy task. So, as I remember, Professor Thiraratna also mentioned that regulations are different, and it's not easy to have a, one program with 4 different universities. However, I think there's a major difference between those faculties, especially with the Open University, because our delivery system is distance mode. It is quite different from the other university delivery system. However, I am very happy to see that other universities also come to our pattern of delivery, that is ODL. Now you are talking about online teaching, and most of the time what we are supposed to do, not online teaching, but distance education. So Professor Tostan also mentioned that is a flipped classroom concept. That is, in a way, our system is something similar to the flipped classrooms, because we give material, they have to learn, and they have to come to the classroom and discuss those in the classroom. So I'm happy that other universities also come to this kind of delivery mode. And for students, now I think this collaboration, now you are in the first year, you are in the Open University of Sri Lanka, registered in the Open University. However, these courses will be delivered by other partner universities as well. So that means that you have a good opportunity to have some kind of expose to all university, their experience and whatever the expertise in some universities quite different from one university to other university. So you have that kind of benefit from this program. Not only these 4 universities, now you know there are another 3 international universities collaborating with this program. So you have, I don't think any other university, degree program have that kind of opportunity to have different exposure to different culture as well as to expertise. So, dear students, this is your responsibility now to get the 100% out of this program. So it's a good experience for you, and I think you have never had that kind of experience during your undergraduate studies. Now you have that kind of experience. You can explore that opportunity and get, after 2 years, you have to decide that, you have to keep in mind that within 2 years that you are going to complete the degree. So I'm not going to say about the other different specializations in the next year that you can select different specializations. I think it is not mentioned in any presentation, just I mentioned these 4 specializations that for the next year onwards, if you are going to have energy for industry specialization, that will be delivered by Open University of Sri Lanka. So then you can continue with the Open University if you are going to select that specialization. So when you select renewable energy systems, it is offered by University of Maratua. So you will be registered in that university in the next year. However, all these specializations, as far as I know, other university academics also deliver some courses there. So the third one is power generation and supply, that is from the University of Peradeniya, and the other one, energy, technology and management, that is University of Ruhuna. So from the next year, you can select one of these and continue your studies. I hope I'm not going to talk in each specialization what will be delivered. I think so far you have, at this moment it is not necessary. After the second year, you will get some more information on those. So finally, I wish you all the best and determined to complete your degree within 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Uduguma. Ladies and gentlemen, Now to give us an insider look into the journey, inclusivity and the foundational values of this master's program, please welcome Ms. Rishanti Ranganathan, Senior Program Officer and Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Advisor, for her presentation titled Reflections and Insights, a Journey Through the MSc in Energy for Circular Economy program. Please welcome her on stage with a good round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege to stand before you today representing the 2025 batch of the MSc in Energy for Circular Economy program and to warmly welcome our new intake. So coming from a development background as a gender equality and social inclusion advisor, you'll be probably wondering like what am I doing in the middle of all the engineers, right? So I don't know, like probably I'm the only one from the arts background, and I think most of the professors remember me for that. And I'm very happy to deliver like my experience through this program. And I actually had very limited exposure to circular economy concepts and circular energy system. So this program has provided me with an excellent opportunity to broaden my perspective and gain a deeper understanding of how sustainable energy solutions can contribute to economic, environmental, and social development, which is where I work. And over the past year, this program has broadened my perspective and equipped me with like valuable knowledge through, especially I would like to mention few subjects here. Professional ethics and responsibility, entrepreneurial and innovative challenges, and digital transformation of modern leadership. This is in addition to the core energy and circular economy courses. So these subjects especially helped me develop not only technical knowledge, but also leadership, innovation, and professional skills required in today's rapidly changing world. So, and I also believe like one of our greatest assets was the diversity of our cohort. So we had engineers, environment professionals, development practitioners, and also policymakers. Some of the most meaningful learning happened outside the lectures because we had more of all of online classes, not more of. But we did have like a lot of discussions, group assignments, and collaborative problem solving with classmates from different professional backgrounds. I'm also the batch representative for the 2025 batch, and I witnessed, I can give you some examples of like the immense strength of our learning community, where everyone had to balance full-time careers, families, and intensive academic research. It was difficult, but I think we all managed very well. Yet, like what defined our journey was a collective willingness to support one another and share knowledge. So we did not do this alone, we navigated it together. So this program constantly pushes us to apply circular economy principle to real-world challenges. For me personally, it opened vital new pathways for applying circular thinking directly to development, programming, and community resilience and policy engagement. So to the incoming 2026 batch, so I would like to say something very simple. Be curious, ask questions, engage actively, because otherwise it's going to be a one-side class. Do not be discouraged if some concepts feel completely unfamiliar at first, because I believe like growth always happens right outside our comfort zone, which is what happened to me. And most importantly, we have to bridge the classroom with reality. We have to see what happens in this world and, you know, get used to that. And the crisis we face today, from resource scarcity to social inequality, demand innovative interdisciplinary solutions. The knowledge we gain from here has the power to directly contribute to those solutions. So please remember, we are not simply pursuing another qualification. We are joining a growing global community of professionals committed to shaping a sustainable future. And I want to extend my deepest thanks to all our lecturers, coordinators, university staff, and my incredible fellow students for making this chapter so rewarding. To the 2026 intake, I wish you every success, embrace the challenges, enjoy the learning process, and make the very most of this experience. Thank you and welcome to the MSc Energy for Circular Economy family. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rishanti. Ladies and gentlemen, we once again take a small break, and we hope you enjoyed this wonderful performance by the Sri Lanka Army Band. Ladies and gentlemen, as we draw to the conclusion of today's event, it is my esteemed pleasure to now invite on stage Engineer Nawala Priyankara, Head of the Department at the Department of Mechanical Engineering at the Open University of Sri Lanka, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. On the behalf of the Mechanical Engineering Department and the MEC Program Coordinator of the Open University of Sri Lanka, it is my great pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, Chairman of Board of the Investment of Sri Lanka, gracing this occasion and deliver insightful speech. And my heartfelt thanks goes to our keynote speaker, Emeritus Professor Torsten Francis from KTH Sweden. And we are deeply grateful our distinguished speaker, Professor Rahul Atrage, though he is not here, for his valuable thoughts. And very special word of thanks goes to our program director and the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, Senior Professor PMC Thiraratne, for his visionary leadership, guidance, and continuous support to develop this program. And I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to all the Vice Chancellors and the Deans who joined Synergy through this consortium session, especially Professor Teres Majid, Vice Chancellor of University of Peradeniya, and the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Ranjit Pallegama, and also our Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Dr. L.S.K. Udugama, and Professor J.M.A. Manatunga, Dean, Faculty of Engineering, University of Moratuwa, and Professor Chaminda Karnasena, Dean, Faculty of University of Ruhuna. Your contribution is our foundation of the success. And our sincere thanks goes to Army Band for their wonderful performance. I would like to extend my appreciation to all Dean and Head of the Department of the Open University of Sri Lanka and all Head of the departments of partner universities, all academic and academic staff members, program manager, assistant program managers, and all members of the organization committee. My gratitude also goes to the acting registrar the BERSA, all administrative divisions of the Open University for their continuous support conducting this program. Finally, I warmly welcome all our new MSc students. You are now part of our academic journey, and that aims to create leaders in sustainable and circular university practices. With your commitment and the continuous support of all the stakeholders, we are confident that MSc program will continue growth and make meaningful impact for both local and internationally. Let us work together to greener and more sustainable future. Thank you once again. And I invite all of you to join our fellowship dinner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the official conclusion of our formal inauguration ceremony. To our incoming fourth intake of students, we wish you a transformative, globally enriched learning journey ahead of you as you step out to energize our green economy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with us tonight. And now we invite all our dignitaries, guests, and faculty members and students to join us for the fellowship dinner outside. We hope you have a wonderful evening ahead, and good night. Thank you.